Hey good people, and welcome back to the channel. It's Wednesday night and the end is finally here. In a few moments, you're going to hear my thoughts and feelings on part 2 of season 14 Married at First Sight reunion. And I can honestly say that this episode was sure to capture much of the drama that the last episode was missing. But before we get into things, if you're new to the channel and you want to support my platform, feel free to hit that subscribe button and help me reach my goal for the end of the year. But without any further delay, let's jump right into the review. Part 2 kicks off with Kevin meeting up with all the women and they initially exchange pleasantries with one another. It doesn't take long for the drama to creep in as Kevin inquires about Alyssa blocking Lindsey on social media. Jasmina adds her 2 cents in by admitting that she unfollowed Lindsey as well. But before Kevin dives into that, the ladies spend some time talking about their marriages. One interesting observation that I had is how nearly all the women came to Elijah's defense when Kevin tried to ask them about how he was on the show. If you didn't follow this entire season, then you would think Elijah was the best husband on the show by the ladies' responses. When it came time for the women to talk about Steve, they essentially felt that Steve needed to have a job, but I do give Katina credit for giving Steve some kind of leeway if his finances were in order. A large part of this segment was spent with Lindsey and Alyssa airing out their grievances, and this part of the show didn't live up to what I thought it could be, and this was because Lindsey was left on an island by herself, while Alyssa denied everything Lindsey hurled her way, and Alyssa's friends Katina and Jasmina came to her defense. Noi was extremely quiet during the segment, and she remained largely neutral. And I'm thinking that Noi moved in this manner because she realized that there could be some validity to what Lindsey was saying, but she didn't want any of the smoke that Jasmina and Katina were given. I also think that one of the interesting parts of this segment was when Jasmina chided Lindsey for talking about Alyssa behind her back, and she said that she didn't like that mean girl stuff. But come on now. By your actions with Michael alone, you were definitely into the mean girl stuff. But you're reeling it back in when your friend is being called out? I wish that this segment would have spent a lot more time talking about Chris and Alyssa, especially how the women felt about how Alyssa treated Chris. In the next segment, Kevin meets up with all the guys and they talk about their experience on the show. I must say that this segment was probably the most poorly edited of the episode because they spent the majority of the time talking about Mark and Lindsey's marriage, and unfortunately we get to see Mark showing how weak he was by allowing Lindsey to bully him. We also get to see the rest of the men supporting Mark in his time of need. Unfortunately, we don't get to see that when the attention is not on Mark and Lindsey. The show only has Kevin spending a hot second talking about the other guys' marriages, and when it comes time for the guys to talk about Michael and Jasmina, we only get to see Mark's response before the segment is over. So although the segment was poorly edited, I can surely say that I liked how the guys were very supportive of one another, and there was absolutely no drama or pettiness within them. Kevin then briefly meets up with the experts, and they talk about all the couples this season. I consider this segment to be mostly fluff because it really didn't add much to the overall flow of the reunion. I think one thing worth mentioning for this segment was when Kevin asked the experts if they expected any of the couples to split up after decision day. The experts claimed that they didn't expect it, which I gotta call BS on it, because even Stevie Wonder could see at least Jasmine and Michael, as well as Mark and Lindsey, were living on a prayer, if nothing else. Kevin and the experts then talk to the couples that are no longer together. Jasmina and Michael are the first couple that they talk to. One observation that I had during this part of the episode was that when Michael and Jasmina were asked why their marriage didn't work, Jasmina literally does 95% of the talking, while Michael gets 5%, which is being generous. Jasmina spends much of the time putting all the blame on Michael for why things didn't work, and she's not even allowing the experts to get a word in during this time. I think Pastor Cal said it best when he said that both of them had needs that they wanted fulfilled, but they simply didn't want to fulfill each other's needs. It's pretty obvious that Jasmina continues to take issue with receiving criticism and being held accountable, but the experts wipe their hands clean of the marriage and move on to the next. And next, the experts talk to Chris and Alyssa, and in my opinion, this was the highlight of the episode. Alyssa is given a chance to speak out on her experience and how she felt the experts failed her, but Dr. Viv told Alyssa that she had the right one today. And Dr. Viv called Alyssa out by reading the answers that Alyssa put for what she was looking for in a potential spouse. These are the qualities that she claimed Chris didn't have. When Alyssa realizes that she's in checkmate, she reverts back to her crying and playing the victim card. This is when Pastor Cal jumps in, and he asks Alyssa about her core values, and she responds by claiming that she didn't want to talk about her core values. It was refreshing to see someone on the show finally hold Alyssa accountable, because the ladies, except for Lindsey, surely weren't going to do it. Kevin and the experts then meet up with Mark and Lindsey, and to be perfectly honest, this segment was pretty awkward. They discussed why their marriage didn't work out, and it didn't take long for Mark to start crying and accuse Lindsey of bullying him. Now, while I don't agree with how Lindsey treated Mark during the season, it's clear that Lindsey doesn't respect anybody that she perceives to be weak. Kevin then meets up with the entire group, and the couples talk about their experiences. A lot of this time is dedicated towards addressing Elijah, as well as Lindsey's cruel treatment to Mark. Lindsey is essentially shamed into apologizing to Mark several times, which is nice and all, but where is Chris's apology? At least Mark got to give Lindsey that good old pickle tickle out of the deal, but in my opinion, Chris got treated far worse and he didn't deserve any of that. But nobody asked Alyssa to publicly apologize to him for it. But the remaining 10 minutes of the episode seem to be pretty much filler, and that's how the season ends. On a scale of 1 to 10, I will give this episode a 5. I like that some of the cast members were held accountable for some of the things that they said during the season, but I wasn't a fan of the editing as well as how certain cast members got special treatment. It is with great pleasure that I can finally say that season 14 of Married at First Sight is almost over. There will be a Where Are They Now special that comes out next Wednesday, and by judging by the previews, it will be worth a watch, so I'll be posting my review next Wednesday. But when I started reviewing this season of the show, I came into the process with the intentions of posting a review for every new episode within 1 hour after the new episode was posted, every single week. But somewhere along the way, I tapped out, but I can at least say I tried. I'll definitely be appreciating this mini vacation that I have until the next season of Married at First Sight comes on. And I'll make this announcement right here. If I reach 1,000 subscribers by the time the new season of Married at First Sight comes out, then I will devote much of my time and energy towards reviewing Married at First Sight every single week, regardless of how bad the season gets. But I want to thank everyone who took this Married at First Sight journey with me. I want to thank those who commented on my videos, and especially those who have subscribed to my channel because they like my content. But until next time, stay tuned and stay safe. Peace.